Awesome. Well, welcome back to the Empower Her Wealth Summit with another fascinating human being that we get to interview in this Empower Her Wealth Summit. Say that 5 times fast is like pretty tongue twisting. But
Right.
for those of you that are just jumping in, we've had a lot of fun. I'm Joanne Wright, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, and I've been interviewing some very powerful human beings that have brought a lot to the table. So today I want to go over. We've covered, attorneys, CPAs, taxes, business, like all the things, right? And then I really want to dive into the whole mindset of it, like how all of this works. And so I have a very powerhouse guest in that regard. And I'm going to give it away here, but Jackie Cote is such a bundle of fun and really transitioning people into the business mindset and reaching their destiny. So Jackie, why don't you come in and say hello?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Joanna, for having me here. I was so excited because we have a lot of people that know mutual people we know. And they're like, oh my gosh, you two on the same camera together is going to be amazing. I was like laughing. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. We know. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, this is all about empowering women to step into, maybe it's to their own business, or maybe it is to just structure their current life, or maybe it is to, there's so many different reasons why women are here to hear everyone speak. Can you let us know your journey and how you got started and to represent the empowerment that you went through to get to where you are today?
Absolutely. It'd be my honor. I come from a 30-year background in the restaurant industry. I did leadership management in companies like Starbucks and Outback and all different restaurant, from fast casual to full service. And I tried to be a teacher. That didn't quite work out. 1 year in, I was like, can't do this, and ran like the wind. And then I ended up traveling the country with the restaurant industry. And I say that because I discovered now, after this journey and how I got into this journey, was really I'm a freedom child. Like, I was that freedom child, the only one who left Jersey out of 8 of us. I was the only one who traveled the country. I was the only one who was curious about entrepreneurship. My dad was an entrepreneur. He has his own construction company his whole life. And it went up and down. It went up and then bankrupt and up and down. And we watched the whole journey. So most of the kids in my family are like, never going into business for myself, not at all. But I always had that. I just didn't really understand what the vehicle was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a restaurant, but I didn't want to be tethered. I still wanted the freedom of time and the freedom of money. And the restaurant industry gave me an opportunity to be able to do that for me and other people that I end up promoting, over 300 plus people, giving them more time freedom, money freedom, and just more confidence in self. And so freedom's been like a theme that I never realized until 2018. I was at a job that I was really unhappy. I don't know if anyone listening, you drive into work and you sit in the car and you're just crying. Like, you're like crying every day going to work and just not happy with what I was doing. And it was at like the 28th year of doing what I was doing. And I always loved it, but there was something missing at this point. And I saw a friend online and I was like, you look really happy. We do the same thing. And suddenly you look really happy. What's going on? We had this long conversation. He goes, imagine doing everything that you're really good at. So with me, it's mentorship. I hold the gift of belief up for people till they get there, see what they can't see, go to higher levels, create more freedom and time, money, location, all those areas. And I did that naturally. And he's like, imagine doing that in your own business. And I was like, what? So he
That's
showed me this piece of possibility, right? To make a long story short, I joined a coaching company to learn how to do, because I didn't know about coaching. I don't know about you, but I knew football coach, soccer coach. I never knew there was life coaching and business coaching and all these different kind of coaching. I knew nothing about it. So I took some schooling for it. And 2 months later, the job that I was in fired me on the spot for very interesting reasons. And I was like, is this a sign? Should I go back? And I tried to go back and get a job, and I got 3 offers and I said no to every one of them. So I basically walked away. I got let go from a 6-figure income and walked away from 3 opportunities to make that income again and be safe but there was something in my heart and soul in that moment. I was like, no, 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 this is a time to bet on you. And so that was the moment I transitioned the journey into entrepreneurship. Didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like, boom, I got 6 figures. No, it was a learning journey, right? No way, right? You can make 6 figures by quitting your job. No, you had to do some work.
Yeah, well, tell me about something real quick. So you said it really fast. There's 8 of you?
Yeah, there's 6 in my family and there's 2 step kids. And so my mom passed away when I was 5 and my stepmom came into my life at 7. So we've been 8 of us since I was 7. Like they didn't get married right away, but they've been in our lives. We've all been in our lives together since, and I'm the baby of all of them. So the 52-year-old baby.
Love it, love it, love it. So tell me a little bit more about, so did any of the other siblings become an entrepreneur? I mean, I know you said that they were absolutely no, didn't want to see it because dad was not so good at it, but nobody but you. You're the black sheep.
Nobody. Yeah, I was the one who, and it's funny, I tried some MLM, like we all kind of dive into over years and just test this out. I did a financial, business of my own for about a year, and I was actually good at it. And then I realized this is not what I want to do. It wasn't like, still wasn't, I didn't understand the whole concept of alignment and what's right for me, but I just knew, and when you just move on. And but I kept in the restaurant industry because it gave me the most feeling, because I always had an entrepreneurial mindset. Like I always had the mindset of being an entrepreneur. So when I was at a job, I owned it. Like I owned that restaurant. They used to joke that it'd be like Jackie's Potbelly, Jackie's Starbucks. And I ran like 8 of them at one point. I was a district manager and I'd run and they're like, this is Jackie's restaurant chain. They truly, because I treated it so much like my own, and everything that I did to mentor people was like, gave like this ownership ability, but I still didn't own it. I still had to ask for time off. Still had to have, when can I take vacation? Like how much money can you make? And that always drove me bonkers. So when I saw the possibility of what I could do with my skills and my gifts, I was like blown away, and I was sold in like a minute. So
like when you know.
Absolutely. And it was scary to say no to the safety and the security and stepping back into, what I knew for 30 years. It was safe. It was known. I was good at it. Like my last interview was a guy this is where I just want to encourage, like, you can borrow other people's belief until you get there. This guy interviewed me and he said, he got on the call. We knew each other from a previous company. He's like, I don't need to interview you. You're amazing. I would hire you in a heartbeat. I'll give you more money than you're making, all that stuff. He goes, but I got to ask you one question. He goes, what do you really want to do? Now I'm 2 months into this coaching thing. And I said, oh my gosh, I want to do this and I want to this. And I'm all excited and I'm explaining what I can see myself doing, but I wasn't ready to like go all in on like, with no income coming in. And he's like, great. He goes, how much money do you have saved? How much, support and like, credit card, like, what do you have backing you up? And I told him, and he's like, so how long could you live on? I was like, I plan on selling my house, cutting my expenses. And I had all this plans of like how I was going to make this happen. He's like, great. He goes, come back to me in a year. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm not going to hire you today. Like he turned me down on the job. And I was like, what? Like, you love me. You want me. He goes, come back to me in a year. He goes, you have a year to support yourself. And he's like, come back to me in a year. And if it doesn't work out, I'll give you a job. And that moment was that moment of like I'm borrowing his belief. He believes in me. He knows I can do this. He even said it. He goes, if I didn't have kids and a house, he's like, I'd be doing what you're doing. And I was like, now I need to go back to him and be like, you can do this with the kids in a house. Like you can do all of this. So I'm grateful that, God put him in my path to show me that like, I believe in you. You just need to believe in you. So borrow my belief until you get there. And at that point I was like, I'm not applying for any more jobs and and then I took 6 months off. This is crazy. I took 6 months to do me and travel and see what it was like to kind of be on my own. I was still doing my schooling, but I wasn't pursuing clients. I wasn't really building my business quite yet, but I needed that because since I was 14 years old, I never got more than a week off in my entire life. Like everything was like, you get 7 days, you get this vacation time, right? And I've been working since I was 14, paying for everything I've ever owned in my life. And I was like, breathe, Jackie. So I took some time off to assess. I went like to 7 different places. I call them 7 vacations. Some of them were family in Jersey. Some were just like to the next state over. But I did. I traveled to 7 places and I took time off without having to ask anybody for permission. And I was like, I need this. I need this. And after that, once you taste it, you can't go back.
Oh
Once you
my God.
taste the freedom, you cannot go back.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so glad you pointed that out. I mean, I got the chills all over me. And we're like, he believed in me. And when you have that, when someone can see your potential and believe for you, because I don't know about anyone else here listening to this, but I know I had a tough time with my own belief system when I first got started. And I don't come from that background. So everything that you're describing, so many people are going through. And if you stopped, where do you think you would be right now?
If I stopped and didn't believe in myself at that point, if
Yeah.
he didn't help me there, I would be back in the normal. I'd still be trying to work my way up a ladder that wouldn't have made me happy. Like, and then, and for me, I was going up this ladder and I was getting further away from my gifts. Like the more you move up the ladder in the restaurant industry, the less you get to work with people, and
Yeah.
working with people and helping them move forward in life and live and create their own version of a freedom life. Like I've created being a nomad, an RV entrepreneur, and all this other stuff. But like that wouldn't have happened. Like my vision would have only been so big, and I still would have never gotten the foundation of I get to control my saying is I get to do what I want when I want whatever I want to without having to ask for permission from anyone. And I'm learning to give myself permission. Like
Yeah.
I was the one, usually we're the one who stops ourselves
Right.
from giving ourselves permission to go, to take the risk, to do the thing. And but I would still be there. I don't know what company I'd be with, because I probably would have company hopped, but I would not be traveling the country in an RV. I would not probably be married. Our relationship wouldn't have lasted through everything. I was coming home miserable. I wasn't the happy Jackie everyone knew me as. I would pretend, but
Yeah.
I was happy, but I wasn't truly happy. And that was in
Inside.
fact impacting every area of my life, my health, my relationship, all of it. And so when I chose me, it changed all of that over time.
So I'm already thinking of a few people that I want to send your way. Just
Thank
because,
you.
I just got off the phone with a friend of mine, and she just feels like she's lost herself, and I feel like nobody's got that belief for her in what she actually doesn't even have like that full depth of what she wants to do. She's just going through the motions, the mundane of life. And like how many of us do that for years and years and years? It's just,
Hurts my heart when you say that.
I
It
know,
just
that's what I'm saying. I wanted to talk to you so bad because my heart goes out to her, and that's not my genius zone. That's your genius zone, to support somebody in that. And that to believe, to find that belief for somebody and pull it out of them. I know is magical the way that you do it, because I know the same people that you know, and I know what you do. So could you maybe give, I got the chills again because now I got such hope and love for my friend. Can you give us an example of, working one-on-one with somebody that, like, if you were to, what's a step that somebody could take today, like right now, that could lead them in the right direction?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I know when I started out, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? We don't, like, we're kind of in that place like your friend where it's like we're in this predictable life and this is what we know, but we don't know what's beyond in the possibility realm until somebody shows us. So sometimes you have to take the initiative to have conversations with people like you, me, other people that have already kind of walked the journey. And even if it's just a conversation to help you expand the vision, I call it awakening the vision, because it's inside of us. Everything we need is inside of us to be and do and have and create everything we desire. But then life happens and it gets cloudy and it gets squished down, or it gets this or that, and then we can't see. I remember one client, when I first started working with her, she had gone through a very traumatic thing with her daughter. Her daughter almost died pretty much, but she was doing well, she's flourishing, but she could not dream. she could not vision. Like she refused to let herself because she's like, I don't know what tomorrow is. And the safe place is to be right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and like, so sometimes it takes work. I remember my first question to me is like, what do you want your business to look like? What's your vision? I'm like, I want to pay my bills. I just got fired. I don't have any money coming in but unemployment. I'm like, I just want to make enough money to pay my bills. And that was as big as my vision was. But then as I surrounded myself with people and talked to people and had conversations, hired a coach and everything, like it gave me the ability to awaken what was inside of me. Cause I was always that kid. I'm like, oh, we could do that. Like you, if we talked for like an hour about your stuff, I could be like popcorning your vision for you. Like it just comes up for me. Like God just puts it in me and I'm like, okay, here, this is what I can see. And, but the key to it is that it's got to be your vision. It can't be like the Jackie agenda. It's never my map. I want to be on your map and it's got to be yours. And then once you awaken it, like it's empowering it. And that takes steps by saying like no to things that no longer serve you, saying yes to things that you desire, stop denying yourself of things, setting the boundaries. And that's what, there's a bunch of like steps beyond that. But the first one truly is like, what's possible? Like, what do you really desire? And then know that if that person over there is doing it, this is why I'm doing this. Cause I saw other people building this business and I was like, well, if they can do it, I can. Like, it's that simple, So.
Yeah, which is, so for the entrepreneurial mind, I'm just going to step in. I know someone just said this out loud. Maybe it's good for you, Jackie. You could do it because you had an entrepreneurial mind. Like I could just hear it like in the back of my head. And because I've been told that myself, well, you could do it, Joanna, because whatever, you just label whatever you want to label. But I truly want to bring people back to that moment of you just being sick of you and the mundane, right? And how many of us go through that. And it's because we're suppressing, just like you said, we're suppressing, life just presses us down with all the things. And then there's something that I said, I had my financial fitness class last night. And one of the things that I brought to the table was, Judgment Day is coming. Judgment Day is coming, right? And God is not going to judge you for all the things you did on this earth. That's so my interpretation of Judgment Day, right? Not all the things, not because you didn't clean the house, not because you, whatever that you wanted, the pressure you want to put on yourself, right? It's the checklist. Did you do all the things you were put on this earth to do? Did you do all the things I put you on this earth to do? And that, my friend, is the vision that Jackie is talking about. That vision is what God put you on this earth to do. And are you doing that? And you can't go to Judgment Day and stand at the gates and go, well, I would have, but I didn't have time. I had this W-2, I got kids, and I couldn't do it. I want you guys to hear what Jackie was saying about taking 6 months off, right? That was such a powerful thing to do. And oh, that might be good for you, but if I took one day off, I'd be a hot mess, right? I couldn't afford to do that. So what would you say to somebody like that?
Well, there's a couple of things that
job, there's no way they can change and be anything that you're talking about, Jackie or Joanna, because I'm different.
So when I talk about the freedom life, when I talk about like taking risks and this and that, everything, it looks different for Joanna than it does for me, than it does for the next person. I'm really huge on you owning you, like you getting back to you, but sometimes we don't even know what that is, right? Like we talked about earlier, we don't know what the vision is, but we don't even know. We have so many like titles, whether it's wife, mother, employee, this, that we've been living, we forget about, or we just never even got in touch with since we were a kid, who we are inside. So one of the biggest questions that I ask is I say, okay, I get it. Like, right now it seems scary. Right now it seems like impossible, or it's not really like your world or this and that. But let's review the past and let's look at like, where have you done impossible things and you're still living today to tell about it? And so then they're like, oh my gosh, that's like childbirth, this, that. And they start like throwing all these things out. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
So like it's reminding people of their power, reminding them of like even going back to like childhood. I'm like, what did you want to do when you were a kid that you were fearless? I don't know about you, but I choreographed dances. I am not a dancer in my mind today, but when I was younger, I could make the best mud pies. I could dance up a storm. I was the best teacher. Like I'd set up classrooms with friends. Like what were the things that you did that you were like, I just, and it's ironic, I was in front of a room teaching, go figure. I've been in front of the room and I speak to group, speak to people now, right? But it's like we forget the power of what we have that we were born with. And so I try to remind people, when we remind them of the greatness that they've already come to this day with, like they've already achieved. Okay, if you can do all that, why not try something else? Like, why not decide that you're worthy of doing something else? And there's all these layers, and like we talked about, like I'm the mindset person, but all these layers of like belief, like whatever you believe is going to create your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your results. And so let's change what we believe so that we can take different thoughts, have different feelings, have different actions, have different results. And it starts with what we talked about with what's the result you desire. And don't shut it down. I when I do vision stuff, I say, okay, write down what you want, like, in your little notepad, what's your vision? What do you really want to do?
Do you
And
find
then
people try to be logical?
yes. And this is where so this is when I do this exercise, the brain of the safety brain, the logical
Yeah.
brain, like that's not safe. I say, great, have another piece of paper to honor that brain, like honor that side of you, and have a piece of paper to the left and write those things down. Oh, well, Jackie, that's not safe. You've got kids to support. You have a household to pay for. You got right. Great. Write them down, because it's only trying to keep you safe. It's part of the picture. Now continue to write your vision over here, but the little shut me down comments, or the things that are, like you said, realistic or safe, write them over here. Because if you try to like push them away, overcome them, they're going to come back with a force. Like they come back with a mission, a vision, a passion and a mission to shut you down. But acknowledge them. And so now you got two pieces of paper. You've got what would be safe and predictability. Now you've got possibility over here. So how do you take predictability life that's like safe, sound, because it's only trying to keep you safe and loved and belong, the three foundational things of life, right?
Yeah.
But then this side is like, yeah, and this is all possible too. So they get to work together. And that's we would determine, like, how can they work together? How can you make a decision that doesn't put you in a cardboard box, like, and your family's living on the street? No, that's not going to happen. But our brain thinks it is. It's kind of like the bears chasing us. No, there's no bear in sight.
We're
Okay. Well,
We're
I'm in
good.
Colorado. There might be a bear in sight, but
Yeah. So if we can invite ourselves to say, if it were possible, what does that look like? Right.
Mhm.
So that is such a powerful statement to, thank you for that, allowing the logic to be part of what's possible. Right. I think that is the most powerful thing, because so you hear some people out there and they just want to shut down that part and have you only live in dreamland, right?
Mhm.
And some people call it woo woo, or whatever, that people call it all kinds of names. But I study the brain and I really know how it works. It doesn't know the difference between a vision and reality. So if you're in the possibility side, not because you're trying to be fake, not because you're trying to be somebody you're not, right?
Mhm.
This is what I'm hearing from you, Jackie, and I just want to reiterate it for the audience.
Mhm.
It's you're living in the possibility, because then your brain goes to work trying to figure out that possibility, right?
Yes.
Amen, she says. Yes.
I'm like, amen. Sorry. Preach. Keep going. I'm
Love
like,
it.
oh,
Love
like I get giddy and bubbly inside. I'm like, she's speaking my language. Keep going.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, I hope y'all got that, because, really anything's possible. It used to be the 4-minute mile was impossible until somebody did it now, and then all of a sudden everybody was doing it, right? Your brain, again, doesn't know the difference between possibility and reality. So if you keep that vision going, right, all of a sudden everybody is like on the same plane as you. You're like, oh my God, just like Jackie pointed out, this person's doing it, I could do it. She found
Mhm.
possibility, and then she found belief. Like shortly
Mhm.
thereafter, if you guys were tracking, she had the person believe in her. And so she's like,
Mhm.
I'm going to jump. Right. And it was her
Mhm.
version of jump, not everybody. So everyone's going to have a different story
Right.
about that. Can you give me an example of one of your clients, like how they went from like this safe zone and thinking in possibility and then making that jump? Can you give us an example of somebody? Maybe not name,
Yeah.
you know?
I do want to touch on one thing real quick about like those old stories that come up, those old beliefs, those
Sure.
things that like call us back. The key to those is that, and I didn't mention this before, but they all had served a purpose. They all
Yeah.
served a purpose in your life up till today. And that's beautiful. No matter how bad or good they seem, and you're like, God, I'm so frustrated with this, but they served you and they helped you up to this point. And I can give some very serious examples in my own life that like, well, that's not a good thing, but it did keep me sane and it kept me like, functioning in the world. That was my way of managing emotions or this and that. And once we give it acknowledgement of why it has helped us up to this point, we get to change it. That's the awareness piece. Once we have the awareness of the thing that is holding us back, then we get to decide different. Like, what's another way to nourish our body? What's another way to choose? Like, what's another way to manage emotions? What's another way to make my, we get to replace the way it served us, because everything starts, and I love that you said I study the brain. Everything starts from imagination. Anything that's created that you're looking at on your desk in your world started up here. And so when you were talking about this woo-woo vision that people think, it's not woo-woo. At some point in time, what you were experiencing today was only a thought back
Mhm.
then. And so when we can recognize like we're just deciding today what we want tomorrow, we're living in it today and deciding it to be true today so that it can create creative tomorrow. So great example is how many women say, whether it's like, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to have this, those are visions. It didn't happen yet, but you
Yeah.
believed that that was the path for you and that's where you're going. Now, sometimes the path is different than we thought. But anyway, so client wise, I just wanted to add that because it does take the science in the womb, with the energetics and the
Oh,
science and everything
absolutely. So
together.
it matches, well, in real estate investing. So that's what popped into my head. Imagine that. Um, so even though you have the best laid plan out, like reality hasn't happened yet, right? And almost every escrow is different. I say they're like fingerprints, no two are alike, right?
Right.
So you have intention in your brain. You have a vision of how this should all roll out, right? And most of the times, I would say 9 times out of 10, well, maybe 8 times out of 10, it doesn't ever come out the way you thought,
Right.
right? But the end result is the same,
Right.
but the journey was different, right? I
Exactly.
put a logical point on it. So
No, spot on. Like you got it. And that's where then what we layer into this now is the trust. You have to
yeah.
trust the journey. You have to like,
Oh my God, I say that all the time. Trust the process, move at the speed of
yes.
instruction.
And I bet you say this too. I bet you say, marry the front end process. Don't like the results you can't control, like the how and the when, like when it shows up and how it shows up, like you just described. We don't have control over that, but we try to. We
Yeah,
try, and
we
that's where the
sure can
frustration and the
try.
resistance comes in. But if we just really fall in love with the front end process of what we're creating, and that's why I talk about intentional goal setting, like there's intention behind it. What are we experiencing and feeling? And you can see my whole body gets like into that part, because if we're not having fun along the way and we're not enjoying the conversations we're having, we're not doing the thing that we love, we're not doing, and all of that up to the money goal or the thing goal, you're going to get to the money goal and be like, that's it. What was that about? And that's what we were trained in corporate America. It was like, yeah, SMART goals, measurable, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time sensitive. That's great. But what about the journey to the goal? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about all of that stuff to the goal. So back to client. It's funny when you say like, we could probably talk for hours. That's what's hard about these things. You get all these great people and you're like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Um, so one client that stands out, like there's a bunch of them, it's really hard to pick one when you ask that question, right? And you probably the same thing, you're like, but there's one that when I met, it's funny, like when I met her, she was in this zone of miserable at her job, very similar to where I was at, like unhappy, like like killing it, like just physically ill because of how much was going on at work. But but we're go-getter women. We're gonna make it work. I call her the I got it girl. The I got it girl is the one who's like, but I'm in control. I can make this work. I can fit the square into the circle. I can do all the things. And we had a conversation. We were at a retreat together. We just met. We never worked together. And she's like, just so happened. I was like, then why don't you leave? Oh, I have kids. I have a family. I have this. I have that. And I'm like, uh-huh. I'm like, and we had a conversation about, well, what if? Okay, so what if this happened? Like, what if you quit and it took you 6 months to get work? Like, what would really happen? Let's talk about that. Well, okay, but what else is possible? So the what if question is one that I stop and I ask myself all the time. And then another one I ask is that really true? Because the what ifs will create stories. And then I go, well, was that really true? Like, are you really going to lose the roof over your head if this happens? Like, honestly, no. Like, and so getting that, I have those sarcastic conversations with myself. Really, Jackie? Really? Like, is that really true? And then it like shuts down the worries, because we like to live in the past we can't change, or the future worries we can't control, but we get to live in this other area of what's possible. So long story short, we had the conversation. Literally, she got home from the retreat, she quit her job. Nothing prepared, nothing like ready, nothing like in a lot lined up for her to like move into another job, nothing. I was like, oh gosh, what did I say? Like, there's part of me as a coach and I'm like, trust it, Jackie, trust the process for your client. And from there was that she had to learn how to like trust and surrender. So she ended up like immediately within a month, like within a couple of weeks after she took a month off, she's like, I don't want to, she got a call from that old job. Can we contract you? They paid her twice as much money. And she was a contractor for them. So she had freedom, time freedom. She made twice as much money for the time that she used to work. And she only did that for a period of time because she's like, I've got bigger vision. So then it was like, then something else came up, like her sister talked to somebody who let somebody, because she painted the vision and the thing started falling into place and coming to her. She put it out there, what she desired, because we worked through that. And then all of a sudden she's like, this thing just showed up, Jackie. This person just called me. And I was like, no coincidence. Yeah. You've forecasted it. You vision forecasted it. We've talked about it. You've put it out there. And she's like, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. This is great. And I'm like, exactly. Like, it gets to be better than you even vision. Like, if you're allowed to, right? And so now she's got a full-fledged consulting company, and she's got a nonprofit she's created and that she's always desired to do. And you probably know Shauna. So like that, like she has shifted from being a miserable in her job and her employment. She never thought she'd be an entrepreneur. She said clearly to me, I'm not an entrepreneur. Yeah. I'm not a business owner. Okay. A year later, you own 2 businesses, a nonprofit and your own consulting company.
She's a badass. She's totally badass.
Amazing.
And another person we have in common is one of my top students, right? She's closing on 5 properties. Like, who does that? I just heard from somebody yesterday going, this isn't the market. This is, blah, 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 all these things about real estate. And then I got another student, or I have a student with me that is like, oh yeah, I'm closing on 5 properties. It's like, it is what you say it is.
She's a manifestor like, sorry, I had to say that. She's a manifestor like no other. Like, if there's proof of like you ask for something and it shows up, that girl.
Yeah.
If she can just own her own desire, once she owns it, it shows up in her world. It's
closing today on one of them. I have to call it. It's also her birthday too. So I have to give her lots of extra love.
That's awesome.
So what a birthday gift to have, I know she started with you and then she started working with me, and like the world is her oyster. I'm watching her blossom so much. And I feel like if I want to take the audience right back to what you had initially said, my vision was to just pay my bills. Like it was this big, right? And that's all anybody ever wants, is like the security taken care of. Right. And then you've enveloped this whole world started pouring into you. Same thing with the client you just spoke about, right? Like their vision was this big, and now she owns 2 businesses and she has a completely different life. And the one I'm talking about, like, it just, she had no, I just want to close on one deal. I just want to know how this works without the bank. Right. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, let's walk you through it. And like her first creative offer, she just went through the roof crazy with, this is amazing. Right. And now she's closing. So super excited.
Goosebumps.
Right. I mean, it just proves that your work works. And the logic is sometimes I don't even say sometimes. I think logic is a 4-letter word. It just holds people back,
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
you know? So
Yes.
with that being said, um, what is one thing, well, what is one thing that you think the audience should take away today?
Mm.
So many, but like, I know, I'm
We've
like,
said so many, like, I'm like, anything's possible. The I look at it, I meet, because of the journey that we're on, I've met so many women in the mid 40s and older reinventing themselves completely into like totally new things, this and that. And it blows my mind, like a 70-year-old, 80-year-olds writing books, like doing these things. And it's not an age thing. It's just more so like kind of I'm in awe of this era of life. And so I just say, like, stop waiting to like do the thing that you want to do and like live the life you want to live. Like, if you have a desire, it's meant for you, it's come from God or whatever you believe in. It's been downloaded into your heart for a reason. So get with somebody like one of us so that we can help you see what you can't see, that how possible it really is.
yeah.
And it might not look like, again, I'm not telling everybody to sell everything and jump into an RV and travel the country and not have
Really?
a
Because
home
that's what I
base.
heard. I'm about ready to go do it right now.
But I can't tell you how many people are like, that's my dream. You're living my dream. I'm like, does your
Yeah.
partner know that? Because he doesn't want to do that, or she might not want to do that. It's so funny. I have these conversations with couples about RV living, but you could, if you told me 5 years ago that like I'd own my own business, I'd be living in an RV, traveling the country, doing what I'm doing, like, I would have laughed. If you told me I was going to meditate, I would have laughed my butt off at you, because I was in a very masculine world. I'm like, meditation, like self-develop. We were in a very masculine driven restaurant,
Mm.
world, right? But today, like, again, if I'm doing what I'm doing and living a life that I really truly love, you get to do that too. That's it.
No doubt. No doubt. I love that. I
So,
love that. And then one final question. Well, I like to ask, what do people like to do for fun? What do you like to do for fun? But I think you've already let that cat out of the bag.
anything, I have a philosophy, and you might hear this from one of your other speakers. Like, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, and that's everything that we choose to do. And I mean, if you saw the last year of my life and the stuff with parents and family and stuff that I've had to go through, it's been chaotic. It's been traumatic. It's been, gosh, I can't even say, like, it's been hard. It's been stressful. And you get to have peace amongst the chaos of life.
Wow.
And and that's what, when I ask my clients, like, what do you get from working with me? Because sometimes I just need to hear it from other people, right? Because I know, but I just want to know what they feel. And they're like, I get to have peace amongst all the stuff going on in my life. I still get to live my life, and with peace comes love and joy and fun and laughter. While we're going through the dad with dementia, the mom in the hospital, the daughter who got into a car accident. I mean, like, all of this is going to happen. Like, we can't control that. God has a plan. But over here, we still get to have both of these at the same time.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to fun, I mean, like I said, traveling the country, like, we're going to the hot springs tomorrow just to have date day at the hot springs. And so it's living intentionally each day. And what I do is fun. Like, I know you feel the same way. We don't work a day in our life.
Right. I've been doing it 24 years. Like, it's, this is what I think I'll do forever. I just love
Yes,
being with people and having fun.
exactly. And exactly. It doesn't have to be what you think it gets to be whatever you desire it to be.
Absolutely.
Someone said to me the other day, like, well, it is what it is. I said, no, it is what you believe it is.
Yes. Oh, I
It's not,
like
it is what it is. It is what you believe it is. So choose what you believe.
Yes. And another powerful thing I heard the other day is, you hear someone complaining, or you're complaining, hear yourself complaining, right? Life sucks. I can never get ahead and all the things. At the end of it, say, and that's exactly the way I want it. And if you go, no, that's not the way, then go change it.
Right.
What do you
Like
want
that.
it to be? Right. So I'm actually working on that with my husband too, because he can get that it is what it is attitude, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
I'll ask you a different question then. So team tacos or team sandwiches?
Oh, tacos all the way.
Tacos, she goes tacos,
Tacos
girl,
all,
I love it.
tacos all the way. Tacos for breakfast, take leftovers, tacos for like anything you can create into a taco. I am down. Oh, breakfast tacos are like the best. You get like avocado and eggs. And by the way, one of my loves is cooking. So
Nice.
you hit a good question there.
Good, good, good. Yeah, I just did provolone tacos the other day. So I make the provolone as the shell for the, yeah. Anyway, so we can go on and on about food, I guess. Super. But yeah, I appreciate you jumping in here, empowering women to, really follow their vision, grab their vision and follow it, right? And then also, how could, do you have a little something that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I've got a workshop that I do, and I do this with my in my membership on a regular basis. But it's called the Wheel of Life. I call it the Freedom Wheel of Life. I've added my own touch to it, and it's talking about there's 8 areas. Usually, there's about 8 areas of our life. Well, sometimes we only want to focus on like business. We put all our energy into business, but yeah, guess what? Like your health, the relationships in your life, the creativity part of you that wants to go color and dance and do things, there's other areas of life that feed the business. And I talk about being, like, how much are you being? Are you just doing, but how much are you being? The being is where you make the money. I mean, and that might make sense right now, but come talk to me if you want to know how that makes sense. The being is where the money is. And so I walk people through, like, where are you now? Rate yourself from 0 to 10. And where do you then what do you want to do to move that needle higher in each area of life? And then you do a 90-day check-in on your own, or with me if you're working with me, and you check in like, okay, where am I now? I thought I was a 5 in my health. Where am I now in my health 90 days later? Because we've mapped out some things that you can do to impact that. How do you want to feel in that area? What do you want to experience? So that's the workshop. So that's my freebie that you get. And then was there another question?
Well, so that's the freebie that they get. How can they get in touch with you?
Well, Jackie Cote Coaching, as you see on my little whichever direction cup over here, that's my website, Jackie Cote Coaching. You can always check out there. But something I believe in is my Facebook page has always been my Facebook world is my digital diary. If you want to get to know my vibe, my energy, who I am, come friend me. Let me know how you met me. Like, tell me that you met me on Joanna's Summit so that I can shout her out. I love when we get to cross through how we meet people, the 6 degrees of kind of thing. And that is a world where I show up, and you will learn about everything from travels but just life, and you'll learn everything I'm going through. It's my digital diary, and you get a vibe of what I'm like.
Yeah, well, I got to say, thank you for being human, right? Like, you put the human touch in all of the things that doesn't seem possible for people. Like, really, possibility? How do I even get there? I'm stuck in this rut thing. You don't understand me, Jackie. My life, my life, my life. I'm different. All the things, right? And so by you sharing your life on Facebook, and I've seen plenty of it, you bring the human side of business to the table, and that, we all go through something, and you can live in possibility too, and go to your vision. So you're a complete perfect example of that.
Give me 60 minutes, you'll think different. 60 minutes and you'll think completely different about your life. It's just what I do.
Yeah. No, I feel like there's already a transformation for people listening here today, and you didn't even go directly to them. So God bless you for your being in your power and doing what you were called to do on this earth. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Any final words before we end the day? I know we could spend hours just
Gosh,
chatting,
have fun, live in possibility. Don't just start living your freedom life now. Like it's all possible. And I don't know. There's just so many. Just go back and listen to this 10 times. There's my advice. Go back, listen to this and all the powerful women that Joanna's putting in front of you, and you'll be good to go.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you in a bit.
Yeah. Thank you.